Hey everyone, I'm Ulrich Carlson. I am the writer of the CRM Chart Guy blog. Today I'd like to show you a new tool for the XrmToolBox that a friend and I, Mohammed Rashid, and myself have been working on here for the last few months. The tool is called the Advanced Chart Editor, and it's now available in the plugin store for the XrmToolBox. It is, of course, a tool that helps you edit charts in Dynamics 365 or Dynamics CRM if you're still on a previous version. So let's have a look at what it can do, and I'll go through the process of editing a chart from start to finish. As usual, to start off, I have created a user chart that I can use as my base, and then make all my modifications to this chart specifically. In this case here, it is a top 10 customers by sum and average of the estimated revenue. And just to look at the different series, we can see here that the first series is the sum of the estimated revenue, and the second series there is the average of the estimated revenue. On the chart itself, here we can see that it can definitely use some cleanup. The values, the numbers on the values are pretty small and can be hard to read. The sum and the estimated revenue, the sum and the average of the estimated revenue are on two separate axes, so you can't really compare those two. And the values, for example, the bottom value here, $2,482,193.33, might be easier to read if it, for example, just said 2.48 million instead. So let's see how we can use the new tool, the Advanced Chart Editor, in order to make these modifications. Alright, I'll go ahead and open up the Advanced Chart Editor. I'm already connected to the same environment, and I'll load all the entities into the tool. Alright, now that I have the entities loaded, I can search for opportunities, click on opportunity, and it'll load all the charts for the opportunity entity. And I can see at the bottom here, that's where I have my top 10 customers by sum and average. And I can also see here in the end there that the view type, this is a user chart, it's not a system chart, so this is the one that I want to work on. I'll select the chart here by clicking on it. I won't select the checkbox, I'll just click on it so it's highlighted in the blue color, and then I'll go ahead and click on Edit Chart up here. So at this point, if you think this looks similar to the chart manager that's already in the XrmToolBox, it's because it is very similar. In fact, we build our editing options on top of the chart manager. But what's different is going to come now here is that you can click on the Open Visual Editor, which will open up a chart editor helper, and which I'll bring into the screen here. And this one allows you to see all the different properties, the series, the axis, etc., that are available on this specific chart and is available for us to make modifications on. So first up, I'll select the first series, which is the sum of the estimated revenue, and make some modifications to this. And in here, I'll go to the legend text area and maybe make some modifications here. As we can see, the legend for the sum says sum parenthesis estimated revenue parenthesis $sign. Maybe we just want a little more simple, sum of estimated revenue. So I can type that in here. On the label format, the formatting here references to the value, for example, the 2.48 million that I wanted to write. And in the label format editor, I can choose between some different label format settings. These are pre-made. You can create your own custom ones, so basically just type these in here. But the one here with the M that's available will write those values as $2.48 million, basically 2 decimals in the millions of dollars. There's also one for thousands, there's also one for billions, but I'll select the one here for millions. When I use this and I want to display values, I just want to make sure that is value shown as label up here is set to true. That is what displays the value itself. I can also change the font of the value, so instead of using the default font, I can select Verdana, and I want to make this font size a little bit bigger so it's really easy for the users to read. And in this case, I'll just up it to 22 pixels, for example. So that should be nice and easy to read for the users. One last common customization here in the series is actually specifying a color to use specific to this series. So I can click to select color, and basically select any color here. So maybe if I like the blue color, and I can click on define custom colors and basically set my specific color that I want to use. So if I want to use like a brighter version here of the blue, I can just slide this up and go ahead and say OK. And Now I'll upload my changes to the chart here and just make sure that I'm on the right track. So I'll make sure every time here I'm on the properties and make changes, I want to make sure that I click save. So I'll click save here and OK. And now update the chart. All right, now the chart has been updated. And come into CRM and I'll just click refresh and we'll see the latest version. All right, here we have the updated chart. We can see my custom legend. We can see the color that I specified. We can see the values are now shortened down. So you have this one 14.89 million instead of that very, very long figure. So I can see here that I'm on the right track. So I'll go back to the visual editor and continue editing, because now I want to edit the second series. As we can see, that one still has the old label type. You may want to adjust the color a little bit too. So I'll bring in the chart editor helper and I'll go to the second series on here. And first up, I'll make sure I change the y-axis type. Notice this one's actually set to secondary. I can change this to primary and it'll move it to the first axis. I can also just click remove. We'll take out the property entirely, remove it from the XML, and the default option will be used, which is the primary option as well. I can also toggle the is visible in legend and set that to false, just in case I don't want the average value in there. You probably want this in this case, but I'll use it as an example. And this one too, I'll also change the label format and again select the millions. But in this case, I actually want to make sure that people can read this as an average. So in quotations, I'll put AVG average here in front of the label formatting, just to make sure that it's on there. And I'll leave the font size there as 9.5. We'll keep that one small. And then I'll go ahead and select the colors here too, so we can specify a color that we want to use. I'll define my custom colors. I'll go start with the same blue color there, and then we'll have a slightly darker version of the blue color here. So I'll go ahead and set OK, and I'll click save. And before I go ahead and update this to the chart, I'll just open up the series and I'll go to the custom properties. These are available for all the different charts. Now the custom properties are specific to the chart type. So the properties that we see here are specific to the bar chart type. And some of the ones, custom properties that we can make changes to here, for example, is the point width, which is the width of the bars themselves that we can change. And we can also change the bar label style. So in this case, I'll say bar label style, set that to the left. So it'll be on the left hand side, which means that there's just less of a risk that the values between the sum and the average value will be written on top of each other, because I'm putting this one on the left side. Another change I'll change draw side by side. I'll set that to false. The draw side by side will, instead of drawing side by side, will basically render them on top of each other, which gives it a different visual style and definitely gives some more space to the individual chart. Again, I'll click save. Always remember to click save, OK, and update. All right, it's been updated, and I'll go ahead and refresh the chart. All right, now the chart has been refreshed and we can see our updates. We can see the average values displayed on the left hand side. It does have the average information in front of it. The bars are now rendered on top of each other, so I'm actually pretty happy with how the series have turned out. However, there are a few more things that we can work on, specifically on the axis. We can see the Y values here still writes 5 million with 2 decimals, for example. There's a big gap here between the axis itself and the first column. We can change that around. And then one of my main pet peeves actually about the bar chart is that this is a top 10 bar chart. And for whatever reason, on a top 10 or top X chart, it's putting the top value at the bottom. Sales leaderboards, etc., you want to see the leader on the top of the chart. That's just how lists work. So let's see if we can fix that as well. I'll go back to my chart editor. I still have it open here in the background, and click on the Open Visual Editor. And this time we'll navigate to the the chart area, and modify the axis. And we'll start out by modifying the x-axis. On the x-axis here, I'll make 2 changes. I'll go to the is margin visible and set that one to false. That is the one that will remove this little gap I was talking about between the axis itself and the first bar. And then I'll go to is reversed and set that one to true. So that's what it's going to reverse the chart and put the top item on top. I'll click save, and then I'll go to the y-axis and make some changes here. I actually don't want to make any changes to the y-axis specifically itself. I do want to make some changes to the labels on here, and the labels are under the label style property. And we can see here I have the format, which is the same formatting option I had on the series. So I'll select the millions, and again I'll select Verdana as my font, and I'll increase the font size a little bit here. So I'll increase that to 14, for example. I'll go ahead and click save, OK, and update. All right, now it's been updated and published. So I'll go ahead and refresh. All right, so now we have the updated chart. We've improved the labels, we've improved the axis, we've changed the colors, and we haven't actually exported the XML or made any kind of manual changes to it. We let the tool do that. So I hope you enjoy it. Mohammed Rashid and I definitely hope you'll find the tool useful. We do plan to release more videos on this tool and hopefully update it with new features in the future. So make sure that you follow me on Twitter or sign up for the newsletter on the CRM Chart Guy blog. And definitely a big thank you to Mohammed for making this possible. He's a great developer, and he's a guy who really managed to put a lot of my ideas into action here. So I definitely appreciate that. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.